Hey guys, welcome to the channel and welcome back to another video. Appreciate you being here, guys. Today we're going to talk about the three profitable side hustles that make me $98,000 per year. Now, as you come in, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay, so we make sure our audio's right. I think our video's right and our visuals are right and all that good stuff, but just give me a thumbs up so I know that you guys can hear me okay. I really would appreciate it. Looks like we already got some folks in here. Good to have you. Grayman, good to have you in here. Grayman, if you're still here. Let's see here. Hey, Sunset on the Ocean is here. Let me know where you're coming from, guys. We're going to have a talk and I'm going to do a little deep dive into these three side hustles. So as you come in, hit the like button and let me know where you're coming from and we can have this discussion, guys. I'm going to talk about these from the lowest amount of money that I make doing them to the highest amount of money I make doing them. Now, listen, let me just preface this whole video by saying that this is not about me. This live is not about me. This live is not about me trying to show you what I have, nothing like that. The live is about trying to help you guys understand about what you should be thinking about when you build your own side hustle, side income, side gig, and maybe how you can take some of these three side hustles that I do and you can do them for yourself. You can parlay what I do into success in terms of income streams for you. Because let's face it, most people that I talk to, and I know a lot of you guys that are in the chat and watching this video on replay, whatever, you guys are going to you guys want to have extra income. There's so many people out here that are trying to get some additional income to make more money and make more money and trying to come up with these ideas. Here's three ideas that make me good, solid money on a monthly basis. And any of you can do these things. So I'm going to talk about my experience doing them, but I'm going to also tell you how to do them for yourself and how you can actually get involved and do these things as well to make some additional money for you. And you can also ask me questions about these three side hustles as we go along. Just put a Q in the chat. If you're watching this on replay, drop a comment, and I will more than happy to share an answer and give you some of my insight on these three side hustles that make me $98,000 a year, and they could probably make you even more. Okay, so now I want to understand that we're talking about me, but this ain't about me. This is about how you can do the same thing that I'm doing. So let me run to the chat real quick, guys. Nanika, good morning to you. Brad, hey, from the UK, good to have you, Brad. Gatineau, Quebec, I think I'm saying that right, Maddie, is in the house. Kennedy from New Jersey. Dallas is here. DFW is in here. Zach, how you doing today? Larry G from Humble, Texas. And let's hear about the YouTube side hustle. We're going to get to it and what a person can potentially make if they have skills. Absolutely. Check it in from Cecil County, Maryland. Good to have you. Sorry, getting the voice tuned up, right? Duke from Richmond, Virginia. Marcus from Atlanta. We got some folks in here. Mrs. Moore from Atlanta. Good to have you, Mrs. Moore. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good morning. Karen's in the house. Good to have you as well. So, hey, let's talk about it. Winnipeg, Canada. Nigel, good to have you as well. Thanks for showing up and being here as well. These are the side hustles. This is it. This is how you make extra side money, right? Sam from Connecticut. This is live. This is live right now, Saturday morning here in America. Gary from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Good to have you here. Now, this is three separate side hustles, guys. Not one, but all three together. And I'm going to start with the one that doesn't make me as much money, and I'm going to end with the one that makes me the most money. Okay, it's just three of them, but I want you to ask questions about these side hustles. Don't just say, oh, he's got a side hustle. Great. No, this is your opportunity to bug me and ask me questions. You're not bugging me, but actually to just pepper me with questions about them because I want to help you see how you can maybe use these side hustles for yourself. And maybe you can, hey, maybe you can do these as well. I think you could. Most people can. I'm nobody special, right? I'm just a regular guy who happens to have some side income. Now, you may be saying, well, what about taxes? We'll talk about taxes and all that good stuff because taxes is important. Philly suburbs, good to have you. And also South Levi from Southfield, Michigan, good to have you as well. And I still got those allergies working, right? Those overactive tear ducts. So let's jump into it. The very first one that I'm going to talk about is the one-on-one coaching and mentoring, right? Now, one-on-one coaching and mentoring. Sounds fancy? It's not fancy, right? This is just where I help people do what I've done over the years with money and personal finances and getting organized and seeing a different perspective to how to look at their money and change their money and make more money and to save more money and invest more money and etc. This is where I just help people with their personal finances. And you may be saying, well, how did you come up with helping people with one-on-one coaching and mentoring? Well, let me say this first. This is something that you can do too. Coaching and mentoring and helping other people with whatever you do. You could be an administrative assistant for the last 20 years. Maybe you want to help people with administrative assistant duties. You could be a plumber for the last 30 years. Maybe you could help young plumbers, or maybe you could help people understand DIYers, do it yourselfers, understand how to change out a P trap underneath the sink, or how to change a sink, how to put a faucet on. Maybe you're a cook and you've been cooking for 30 years and everybody loves your peach cobbler. You could show people how you make your peach cobbler. Maybe you love to juice. Listen, whatever you love to do, you can help. There's other people that want to know how to do it, right? You could do the same thing. Here's how I got started in one-on-one coaching and mentoring other people. In about the year 2017, I said, I was talking with a friend, went to go meet with a friend. We was talking, and I said, man, how do I want to package some of the things that I do. And he said, well, everything you do is revolving around money. You're good with money. You handle money well. I said, yeah, you know what? Listen, at that point, my net worth was only what, $150,000, $200,000. It wasn't a whole lot, right? But we knew that everything I did was around money. Okay, manage money, budget. Man, I'm real stickler with this and stickler with that. And he said, hey, why don't you come up with and do something with money? So I said, oh, Smart Money Bro was born in 2017. Smartmoneybro.com website was born in 2019, right? And so I began helping people and saying, hey, I can help you. And then I started the YouTube channel in 2021. And so when I started the YouTube channel, it's like, okay, here's a mechanism to get people to let me help them with their personal finances. So for 2 years, you could have a free 15-minute conversation with me for 2 years. And what I did in that 2 years of giving these free 15, sometimes it'd be 20 and 30-minute conversations, was I was learning to take the craft of helping people with their money. I was learning about it and getting better at it. And I wasn't charging anybody a dime for it. So I did hundreds of free 15 to 20-minute conversations with people about their personal finances on my little small YouTube channel that up until about a year and a half ago only had 3 or 4 or 5,000 subscribers. So I said, this is what I do. This is what I enjoy. This is what gives me energy. This is what fuels me. How can I reach out and help people with their money? So I started smartmoneybro.com. Actually, I started smartmoneybro.com before, but I said, hey, let's start helping individual people with their money. And so what I did was I had an opportunity. I just want to walk through these things, guys. And if you have a question, put a Q in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question. But I want to share a screen with you real quick. If I can get to it, let me see here. And I'm going to do I'm diving into all three of these side hustles because I want you to figure out how can you utilize some of the information I'm giving you about the side hustles into parlaying it into your own side hustle. So I'm sharing my screen with you guys. As you can see on my screen, if you're on YouTube, you can check it out. If you're not on YouTube, go over to YouTube and catch me at Smart Money Bro and you can see it. But I'm sharing my screen with you guys. Maybe you can see it on the other platforms. I'm not sure, but maybe I think every platform can see it actually now that I think about it. But this is where I share and I do my and I use the platform called Teachable. And you can use any different, there's lots of Skillshare and there's other platforms that you can use, Podia or Podia. You can use other platforms. I use Teachable and I just have my services right there on Teachable, what I do for you. Cost, everything. Sign up, enroll. And this is all I do. This is one of the three side hustles that help me make this amount of money, excuse me, in a year, helping people with their money, right? And if you go to my website, you'll see it. If I can find my website, I don't know where my website is, but I'm just trying to show you what's going on and how you guys can maybe do this for yourself. On the website, click on coaching and it takes you right there. I don't know if you guys, maybe you guys can't get to it here, but the point is that that's what I do. Now, with this particular side hustle, I probably make about, I don't know, about $1,200 a month, roughly average. Some months are better than other months, right? But we offer these services to help people with their personal finances. Anybody, listen, I don't care what you do. You can do this. Now, the platform of Teachable costs me every single month to host my my landing page right there. So it costs me a subscription fee of I think $39 or $49, somewhere around there. And so it costs a little money to have that, right? A little per month. And there was many months years ago where it wasn't paying for itself. But as the YouTube channel has grown and my other social media platforms have grown, I stay busy, right? So I make about $1,200 a month. Let's add it up, guys. $1,200 a month is what? Um, and I just being transparent with you guys, okay? I don't want to. That's about $14,000 a year, right? Little more than $1,000 a month, helping other people one on one with their personal finances, doing some mentoring and some coaching. Some people I do monthly mentoring with, where they come back every month or every 3 weeks or so, and we talk, have conversations. I also, there's a schedule. You can go to my schedule. You can see that I offer different services. If you want to have a 30-minute conversation with me, boom, there's a charge for it. Nowadays, I charge for the time because my time is valuable and I'm pulled in so many different directions. But before, I gave it away free just to get to understand and learn and know and figure out how to approach, how to coach, how to help, how to mentor, how to deal with people, how to listen one on one. All these skills I had to develop, and I developed them, right? Now, it helped that 20 years ago, I was a school teacher for about 7 years. So I was a school teacher. So, talking in front of people and having a personal one on one conversation has never been hard for me because I learned that skill a long time ago. But I took these skills I have and I put these skills to work. And this is the one that of the three that pays me the least money every single month. But I don't care what you do, guys. This is a message to you guys. No matter what you do, you can do the exact same thing with whatever you do, right? Whatever skill, and this is really hard for people. It's really difficult because a lot of people don't see themselves as having any skills or see themselves as having a specific talent or gift or whatever you want to call it, purpose, whatever. And so people get a little bit thrown off by taking their skill and teaching other people. But I guarantee you, no matter what you do, no matter what your gift is, your skill, your talent, somebody wants to know what you do. Somebody wants to, I don't care if you're playing the guitar, you're stitching hats, you're putting embroidery on shirts, right? You're collecting antique phones, right? None of that matters. You have to take what you do and see how you can help other people with it or help people learn about it, right? Maybe it's just a collectible. Maybe it's just things that you like to collect. Maybe you're into whatever it could be. right? So I just want to impress upon you that that's the first of the three side hustles that get me up to the amount that we talked about, $98,000 per year. That's about $14,000 of it right there, right? Okay, now let me go back to the chat, see if you guys got any questions about helping other people with your skill and then offering on a platform like Teachable. Now, I love Teachable because Teachable is very, very easy to use. It's very, very user friendly and it's not super complicated. So I do have a link for Teachable in the description box below. Feel free to click on that link if you want to start doing something on Teachable where you can share what you do or teach or coach or mentor or show people what you do. Okay, it's possible that you can do that. Hattiesburg, Mississippi's in the house. So is doing a bit of both investing, but also using a loan for big purchase. Not sure what that is. Good morning, Ohio State in the house. Art of War. Good to have you here. Blessings to you, True Snow TV from Atlanta, Georgia. Good to have you here. Checking in from Boynton Beaches, RC. Good to have you here as well. Smart girl in New York City. How you doing? How did you get your clients? So Jersey Cap says, how did you get clients? How I started getting clients was I became active on other social media platforms. So I didn't get into IG until late, and I haven't really maximized my position on IG, right? I probably have 1,300 or 1,300 followers on IG, not very much. But I do have LinkedIn. And LinkedIn was the first social media platform I got on back in 2014 or 15. And I utilized LinkedIn to get clients, but I also utilized Facebook as well because on Facebook I have a private group called Smart Money Bro Community. I also have a business page called Smart Money Bro on Facebook. So if you go on Facebook, feel free to check that out. You ain't even got to join the group. You don't have to join me on any social media. Just go look at how I utilize other social media platforms to bring in clients. Okay. So this is not let me make sure you guys understand this. This video is not necessarily an advertisement for me, although I do have a smartmoneybro.com shirt on, right? But this is to say, just you can follow my steps on what I did. If you just ask the questions, I'll answer them openly and honestly. How I got clients was LinkedIn and other social media platforms, Facebook, etc. And then when I started the YouTube channel, then I got more and more clients coming in from the YouTube channel. I hope that answered the question. How did you make money from YouTube based on the number of subscribers? We'll get there because YouTube is one of the three uh, uh, side hustles. The three, if I didn't mention it before, the three side hustles are one-on-one personal financial mentoring and coaching, real estate, YouTube. So those are the three. I jumped right in without introducing those three, but those are the three that I want to talk about. And if you have any questions at all on how to get started, how to get good, how to get better, how to get people, whatever it is, I don't care. Equipment, whatever. Ask, and I will answer the question as well as I can. So we'll get to that question, Larry, if you can hold that off. Right now, I'm just want to really see if I can't focus on the one-on-one coaching and see if you guys have questions about that. Did you set up your Teachable platform or did you use an outside source? True Snow TV, I set up my Teachable platform. Okay. And it's fairly simple, right? I actually started my smartmoneybro.com website as well. And that was a piece of an advertising thing to get the SEO and make sure that Google could pick it up and all that good stuff. I started that too. I started that on Wix platform, and then I moved over to what's the other platform? Hold on. Give me a second, guys. I'm looking. Wix and Bluehost. Well, my others done by Bluehost, but I started over there on Wix, but then I moved it. But I'm just checking right now. Okay, so there it is right here. Okay, so did you set up your? So I set it up. All right, let's see what else we got here. Takes 300,000 or 400,000 invested in stocks and mutual funds to draw with 1,200 a month dividends. That pretty darn good. Yep. Just signed on. Good to have you here, Clint. I have skills in losing money in the market. Good one. Let's see here. Yeah, somebody said, I don't want to show my face. And that's understandable, right? A lot of people don't want to show their face when they're doing videos or when they're doing on YouTube or whatever. We'll talk about that. Guys, do me a favor. I didn't say it before, but thank you, Larry, for the reminder. Hit the like button for me. Please smash the like button. If you're watching this, listening to this, getting any information, hit the like button for me. I really, really would appreciate that, guys. It tells YouTube algorithm that this is a good video or this is something somebody should watch. So please hit that like button for me. If you're just now checking in for the first time on this channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please subscribe to the channel and also share the video or the link. If you know somebody that's interested in these types of side hustles. Now, somebody said, do I run ads? I rarely run ads for my businesses. Rarely. Rarely. So, first business, helping people one-on-one with their personal finance. First side hustle, helping people one-on-one with their personal money, with their finances. Okay. No, I don't have merch yet. Not yet, guys. Getting there. Somebody said, do you have separate LLCs for each side hustle? Great question, John. I have rental properties has a side that those are side hustles for properties. I have a separate LLC. Those are LLCs. I have a separate LLC for my businesses that help people with their money, my YouTube and my personal one-on-one finances, one-on-one coaching and mentoring. That's a separate LLC. So yes, LLC for the rental properties, LLCs for the rental properties, and LLC for the coaching and helping people. Those are separate LLCs, absolutely. The other thing I have that's very important, guys, you got to think about is having a good, solid CPA, somebody that's helping me understand the business side in terms of taxes and all that good stuff as well, right? So in terms of taxes, I have a really, really solid CPA. You know, we're either S corp or we're LLCs, but we may file as an S corp. I never file my rental properties as an S corp though. But on the other side of the coin, Smart Money Bro LLC, we might file that as an S corp sometimes and so forth. So that's how I handle it. I make sure I have a good, solid tax person. I don't do my own taxes. Right? I pay money for somebody to help me out and come in and give me all of the most. And I had to do a good tax person because I've been audited by the IRS before, and it was for my other business with my eBay business back 10 years ago or so, right? 5 or 10 years ago. So that's the first business, helping other people. You can help other people with whatever you do. Somebody said, what's the purpose of putting in an LLC? LLC is just protection. So if somebody slips and falls at one of my rental properties, I don't have, and they want to, sue me or put some litigation against me, they can only go after what's owned by that LLC, right? And likewise, LLCs is really for additional cushion and protection of your assets, right? Okay, now the second one that gets me to $98,000 per year. I said that one's about 14,000 and it's growing. I'm helping, and this is what it's all about. I'm trying to help as many people as possible. I'm trying to help as many people as possible. And so also, by the way, in the description box below, you'll see a link to where I help people out. That link is down there. Also, you can join this YouTube channel where I do one-on-ones once a month with people as well for not much money. Right? That adds to that money as well. So, but it's about $1,200 a month is what I get right now. Somebody says, would I recommend LLC for Amazon sellers? That's a question for a tax person. I would say anytime you want to protect, and it also depends on, you could probably go sole. A lot of people just form LLCs too quick. You can go sole proprietor for quite a while until you start making some pretty good money and decent money. But I think the LLC is not a bad idea for any business you start, but I would run that question by a really good tax person or an attorney. I say, yes, it's okay, but you don't always have to do it straight off the bat. Some people, here's what some people do. And I didn't do it this way. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. And I see people do this all the time. They get everything set up for business. Everything looks good. They got the name, they got the logo, they got the website, they got the LLC, they got it all ready and set for business, and everything's looking good, but they don't have any business, right? They don't have any business. They don't make any money. They're not making a profit. They're not, but they got it all set up and they spent all these thousands of dollars and everything looks good. It looks perfect. I never wanted to do that. I wanted to make money before I started a business. I wanted to make sure proof of concept was out there before I did all that extra stuff around me. Now, don't get me wrong. I did the website, right? But I didn't really do the LLC piece until I started making the money, right? So I had the website up there and I said, okay, let's put a website to be legit because I wanted to be a website to be legit. I'm a business, right? But I didn't really start the LLC until I was actually making the dough, right? And actually things were rolling. And then I said, okay, now let's make sure we have everything in line. Went back and got everything in line. That may be backwards to some people, but for me, it was like I didn't want to do all that just to be sitting around looking good and not have no business, right? So somebody also says, how do I determine if a tax person's good? I had to interview three. I interviewed three people before I settled on a tax person. I had conversations with three different CPAs before I said, okay, this is a CPA, a person that manages and does plenty of taxes for plenty of businesses. And this is how I settled on. So I interviewed people for that. Good question. Excellent question. Um, Are the books on my shelf money books? Well, I have a whole bunch of books besides what's behind me. I have, bookcases of books because I like to read. So I have lots and lots of books. And no, they're not all about money. I really like history and I like biographies. But that's all off topic, but that's okay. Not a big deal. All right. So let's go to the second one, number two. Number two, the second one that makes me more money is rental properties. Rental properties. Now, I've owned rental properties for 24 years. I've owned rental properties. I owned about six single family properties for about 10 years before I had to get rid of some of them, got foreclosed on some of them. Listen, hey, I'm being transparent. I've made many mistakes with money. That's why I can help a lot of regular people with money because I've made some of the mistakes that I try to help people avoid. And so I started in the rental game back in the year 2000 is when I got my first two pieces of property. One was gifted to us and we did an assumption loan to get one of them. And then the other one I actually purchased as my first rental property. And before that, I was 30 years old in the year 2000. Before that, I had never lived in a house owned by anybody I knew. I lived in apartments all my life. I lived in rental houses all my life up until I was 30 years old. So I don't really talk about much my story, but my story is a story of poverty, a story of being poor and growing up poor and being poor until I was grown. I was poor way longer than I've had money, right? But when I was 30 years old, I bought my first piece of rental property, and 24 years later, I've managed my own properties all these years. And so on this channel, I talked a lot about real estate for the first year I had the channel. I have nearly 100 videos on this channel talking about real estate, how to buy real estate, how to manage real estate, how to manage a tenant, how to get tenants, how to keep tenants, how to do your leases, everything, right? There's a link to that in the description box below. But I've done real estate for a long time. And so I really, really like real estate. Today, I only have two pieces of rental property. Well, I have three. I have a little piece of land as well. But I've got two rental properties that are single family homes that I've held on to and kept. And I manage them myself. And I get about around $2,100. Let's just round it down to say $2,000 a month on my rental properties. That's $24,000 a year on my rental properties. No, I don't have 10 and 20 and 30 different properties. If I had 10, 20, 30 different properties, I may not have time to do this video right here, right? But the point is that I don't have a property manager. I do all the property management myself, right? And I've just learned over the years of how to be super duper efficient in terms of managing rental property, in terms of managing a lease, in terms of managing people, in terms of having the tough conversation with the single mom with 4 kids who can't pay the rent or is 2 or 3 months behind on the rent. How do you have that conversation with somebody like that who's struggling? You got to learn to do it if you want to manage rental property. So I've done that for a lot of years, and I've actually helped a lot of people understand and learn the rental property game, and even the fix and flip. I've done some flips, and I haven't done wholesaling, but I understand wholesaling very, very clear. And so I help people with their real estate. That's part of what I leak back to when I'm helping people one on one with their personal finances. If they want to talk real estate, we can talk real estate as a side hustle. We can talk real estate as an investment, as a piece of your investment portfolio, right? And so real estate has been huge over the years. Right now, these two pieces of property, I have small loans on these two pieces of property, still small loans, but they've grown in value tremendously. And that's a piece of my portfolio. Let's see if we go to the chat, see if we got any questions about real estate, rental properties. Let's see. I agree. Let's see. How do you close? Let's see. I'm just trying to catch up, guys. Coming in from Houston suburbs, Jordan. How you doing? Appreciate you. Top of the afternoon to you, Alvira. Let's see, Vera from the Queens, New York. Okay, I think I'm saying it right. Is that VIE, Vi or V? Okay, so let's see. Have you ever suffered from fear of missing out when investing? How do you deal with this intensely strong emotion? Good question. How I deal with fear of missing out is simply stay focused on what my goals are. If I can make goals, see, I just had this conversation yesterday. If I make goals, this is one of the reasons I always tell people to make goals about your personal finances or your side hustles, whatever. Always make goals, because goals is what keeps you grounded and keeps you in check. See, if I have a goal, then if it doesn't really line up with my goal, then I probably won't do it. And I'm not saying be so narrow focused. You can look and see, you can flex and move and pivot with your goal, but your goal is supposed to guide your decision making today. And if I have a goal and the fear of missing out is around me, I don't worry too much about that because it doesn't necessarily line up with my goal and the goal that I have set for myself. And so goal setting is very, very important when you're setting the goal. You don't want to set the goal and say, I'm never gonna change. I'm never gonna be flexible. You also have to have the right discernment to know when you got to pivot with that goal as well. Right. So a lot of thought process has to go into making goals and to staying with goals. But my goals is what sets the parameters so that I don't worry about the outside noise, the stuff going on over here or going on over there. Right. So something to think about that. People sleep on goal setting because it's boring, it's old school, it's not flashy, it's not fancy, it's not sexy, but guess what? It really, really works. It really, really works. It helps you stay grounded and it helps you tune out some of the outside noise. Okay, good question. Excellent question, actually. All right, so yeah, I'm sitting here rubbing my eyes and they're getting all puffy. All right, so the second one was real estate. Real estate right now, owning just two single family homes brings me in a couple of $1,000s a month, right? Now, notice we're talking about gross here because when um, we're talking about $14,000 a year doing one-on-one financial mentoring and coaching, and we're talking about $2,000 or $24,000 a year for rental properties. We're not talking about the taxes and things that we have to pay. or the Teachable subscription I have to pay to host my landing page for my one-on-one financial mentoring and coaching. We're not talking about those things. So there are expenses that come out of these things, right? With the rental property, the expenses is primarily the expenses are repairs and maintenance, as well as your mortgages that I have to pay, small mortgages on each one. So, can you get into real estate today? Yes. Can you have real estate as a side hustle, side income? Yes, you can. Right? You can actually, that can be a side hustle if you want to get into real estate. It could be flipping houses, could be wholesaling houses, it could be buying commercial property, could be buying warehouses, buying storage units, could be buying multifamily properties, apartment complexes, whatever it could be. There's so much you can do in real estate. It's amazing. It's amazing how much you can do in real estate. And for me, personally, I bought my properties wrong. I made the mistake. One of the biggest mistakes I've made with real estate is I bought my properties too leveraged. And remember when 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011 hit? I wasn't ready for it. Yeah, I had 6 properties making about 4,500, 5,000 a month, but I was paying out $25, $3,000 a month. And then I was grossing or netting about $2,000. But guess what? I had bad tenants. I had 3 or 4 bad tenants mess up. And guess what? Now I had to still make my mortgage payments, couldn't make my mortgage payments. So then I had to get rid of some properties. So I got hit by the 2008, 2009, that cycle. I got hit by it pretty good. So the point being is that that's one of the biggest mistakes I've made, but real estate has been very good to me over the years. It's a side hustle today that brings in about $24,000 a year. Let's see. Any questions, guys? Pepper me with the questions. I don't mind answering them as much as possible. Have you ever, let's see, somebody said break down the profit margin. When you say break down the profit margin, be a little more specific in terms of the purchase to rentals. Okay, you purchase a property. Let's say you purchase a property for 100K. Are you going to use the 1% rule to actually figure out what your mortgage is going to, or what your rent's going to be? A lot of people make this mistake, and I'll answer it this way. A lot of people make the mistake of, they don't understand that when you buy a piece of property, real estate, it's going to cost more than you think. You need to always add in an additional 10% contingency whenever you buy property, whenever you say you're going to do some repairs on property. This is why I say when you buy a piece of property, have money, have some cash down, and have some cash for anything that goes wrong. $5,000 per unit, per door, at least, if something goes wrong, right? Some emergency, big emergency happens, right? Because I got hit with that too. So we can talk about profit margins and all that, but ask that question a little more specific. Let's see here. Never say never. Be flexible and adapt. Absolutely. How many bank accounts should you have when you're wealthy? Ryan, you have as many as you need to be organized. There's no right or wrong answer with that. I can say 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, doesn't matter. Personal finance is personal. Your situation is unique, and how you feel about things is unique. Well, your risk tolerance is unique. You have as many as you think you may need. Let's see here. Would you ever do real estate in another country, overseas? Maybe. I don't like long distance real estate. I prefer to be near my real estate. That's just me personally. So if I wasn't living in another country, I probably wouldn't. But if my home country is Ghana, let's say my home country is Ghana, and I have family back in Ghana, but I live in America, then maybe I would. But if I had no people in Ghana, I would not or have a piece of property over in Ghana. But this is all subject. Me personally, I don't like long distance real estate. I like to be in and near my properties for some reason. Let's see here. Okay, so what should I take into consideration if I want to invest in properties in other countries like Latin America? There's a lot of things. That's a person. We got to have that one-on-one conversation, Franco, because there's a lot you got to take in consideration. You got to know the country, know the laws. You got to know the policies, the procedures. You also have to know people that are there that you can trust. There's a lot to take into consideration when you have property in other countries. And that's probably a one-on-one conversation I'd love to have with you. I want to buy property, but I don't know where to do it and that I get the best return. So here's what you think about when you're looking at where to buy rental properties. And I'm going to get to number three. We still got number three, which is where I make the bulk of my money in side hustles. But I want to answer a few questions. If you don't know where, you gotta when you're looking for places to buy rental property, you need to be very, very sure that you know that area inside and out before you make the purchase. Now, when I say inside and out, I mean you need to know what's coming to that area and what's left that area. And you need to know why these certain businesses are flocking to this area, and you need to know why certain businesses have maybe left the area. You also have to know what the schools are like. You have to know what is it like on a hot summer day in that neighborhood, right? What is it like? You got to know everything. Crime statistics. I would go to planning and zoning commission meetings, or city council meeting. I would learn as much as possible about the area where you're looking to buy a piece of property, because that needs to factor in your decision on whether or not you want to buy it, because you always buy rental property with the sale in mind. Let me say that again. You buy a piece of property with the sale of the property in the back of your head, right? Very, very important that you don't purchase property until you understand or get a feel for what I could probably sell that property for down the road. Because one day the property probably will be sold either in your lifetime or your kid's lifetime. So you got to be thinking about that. So therefore, to make that good, solid decision on a purchase of a piece of real estate, you have to know what the area is all about, the history, the future. You can't predict it, but you can get an idea once you learn about it. Very important. So that's one thing to think about. I can go on and on for days about that. Please answer my question. Okay, so Brad re-asked the question. I will definitely get to it. Do you have a checklist for screening good tenants? I do. If you go to Smart Money Bro, click on the tab that says shop. There's a list right there for, it's like $2 or something. I don't know. It's one of my digital products on how to screen tenants. Because I'm kind of old fashioned when it comes to screening tenants. I know nowadays it's like, okay, let me put a Dropbox lock on the door, and let me also you can just fill out your application online. I don't have to ever see you or talk to you. I don't do it that way. I'm still kind of old school. It helps me really find better tenants that way, being old school as well. Let's see here. Hey, Les is in the house. Good to have you here. Lee Summit in the house. Good to have you here. Question: everyone is against property managers claiming they cut into profits. Is it more passive to have a PM, and do you have one? Now, I've never had a property manager. Here's my suggestion to everybody looking to buy real estate. If you want to have real estate as one of your side hustles that make you money, I suggest at least the first year or two, you manage your own properties. Now, why do I say that? Because when you manage your own properties, you get a feel for and you learn about the whole process of property management. And then when you go hire a property manager, now you know what to look for in a good property manager. But if you just hire a property manager off the bat and you never had a piece of property and you don't know anything about managing property, then how are you going to handle a sufficient property manager? How are you going to know what that property manager should and shouldn't do? How are you going to know what the price of a window is? How are you going to know what the price of a storm door is, or the price of carpet per square feet to have it laid, bought, and with the padding underneath, or flooring, whatever you want to use? How are you going to know any of these things if you don't spend at least a year or two managing your own property, right? It's just going to help you go get a property manager and be more seasoned to understand what you should be hiring in a property manager. I don't mind a property manager. I've just never used them because I only had a few properties, right? But other people, there's nothing wrong with it, but spend a year or two, this is my suggestion, learning the business, and then you can hand it off to a property manager. That would be like starting a business and immediately day one, before you even start the business, you hire a CEO. Well, you might want to be the CEO just for a minute for yourself before you hire somebody else, so you know what the CEO does and needs to do. Something to think about. Let's see here, Larry. Downside having to evict someone who doesn't pay at all. There's downsides, absolutely. Owning rental property is not all fun and games like everybody tries to show you on the internet. It's very quick to do. It's easy. No, it's a lot of work to do. It's very difficult. It's very hard. Everybody's not cut out to be a landlord. Everybody's not cut out to be a property owner who manages their own property. However, it's something to strongly consider. Gives me $24,000 a year just on two properties, right? Just on two properties. That's rents only. Now, let me go to the third profitable side hustle that helps me make $68,000 a year. So what did I say? Let me get my pen out here. I said $24,000. I'm a lefty. Let's see here. $24,000 with rental property. And I said $14,000 from doing a one-on-one personal financial mentoring and coaching. Right? Oh, by the way, I did mention it earlier, guys. I got dark all of a sudden. I did mention earlier. I have a whole bunch of videos on real estate on this channel. Please feel free to go through them and check them out. I don't do a lot of real estate videos on this channel anymore, but I have a ton. Okay, now, final one, number three. The third one is this. The third profitable, and this is the most profitable side hustle that I have right now. The third most profitable side hustle is this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel. Point blank, I'm averaging about 60K a year. Could be a little more, could be a little less, but it's around 60K. Now, I'm not going to go on the back end of YouTube. I took you guys through the back end about 3 weeks ago when we did a live on here, about a month ago. I took you guys to the back end of YouTube, right? But I'm not going to go to the back end of YouTube today, just to say around 5K a month if you add everything up in terms of YouTube. That's about. Now, let me help you guys with this. Somebody may ask this question. Somebody asked it last week. When it comes to YouTube, I think anybody watching this YouTube channel can start a YouTube channel and be profitable and make money. I think anybody watching this is the beauty about YouTube. Now, let me go back and say, I started my YouTube channel in 2021. It's been around for a long time. I just never posted a video, right? It's been because I've been a watcher on YouTube for a long time. But in 2021, I think it was April of 2021, I did my first video on YouTube, April of 2021. And I didn't know what to say. I had a little script in front of me. I didn't know what to talk about. I knew it was going to be about money, but I'm nervous, right? So I didn't know what, and so I just started making videos, just making videos, putting them up. I punched fear in the face and I pressed the record button, right? As I think Sean Cannell talks about on his channel. But I just did it. It was not glamorous. It wasn't fancy. I'm not a filmmaker. I never made films. I never was in front of the camera, never before. Now, thankfully, like I said, a long time ago, I used to be a teacher. So I was used to, and a coach. I coached youth sports for a long time, more than a dozen, 12, 13 years or so. And so I was used to getting up in front of people and talking, right? If you put me on a stage and 10,000 people, I can get up there and talk and not be I won't be a little nervous, right? But I won't be super nervous. So I don't know if I think that's a natural gift or a natural talent, not talent, but natural gift. And so this is sort of an extension of that gift of being able to get in front of people and have a conversation and talk freely and not be overly measured or I don't have a script in front of me right now. I don't really do any scripts necessarily. Every now and then, if I need to outline things, I'll write down a few things. But just having the conversation with people about things that people want to hear and talk about, and then being friendly and being able to answer questions and help people out and just have a good heart to help people in the middle of talking is more of a natural thing for me, right? So I got better and better. I still had, even though it's natural and it's kind of in my lane, I still had to get better at it over the course of the last two years. Oh, that's 3 years. Almost, oh, it's 3 years, right? So I've had this YouTube channel for 3 years, and I did not get monetized on this channel until December of 2022. So going into January of 2023 is when I got my first YouTube check for 100. It was it $100 or 80 something dollars? I got to go back and look. But that was my first YouTube check. And I got $100 checks for 5 or 6 months. And then I had a video that went viral. And it's my second most watched video on my channel right now. It's got over 800,000 views. That one catapulted my whole channel. And in last year, I went from 5,000 subscribers to over 100,000 subscribers, I think in a year on YouTube. Now, here's the kicker though. Subscribers don't matter on YouTube. Okay? Subscribers don't matter on YouTube. What matters most on YouTube is views, right? So YouTube now, as we're further along with YouTube, we've gotten better. I was able to identify my audience and really hone in on what you guys want to hear about, talk about, and we're building a community. And now YouTube feeds into my one-on-one coaching, my, coaching about real estate, whatever. It just feeds into it. So you can do a YouTube channel, right? I always try to help people when I'm doing one-on-ones with people, and I say, hey, what are you good at? What do you enjoy? What's something that, that you have a passion of, a passion. You have a really, you're just naturally good at it. What is it? And once we can discover that, we can discover many ways that you can make money from that skill or gift or talent or purpose or whatever you want to call it. Right? So mine was helping people with their money. So when I started the YouTube channel, it was, how do I help people with their money? Yeah, I do real estate. So let's do some real estate videos. Let's do some personal finance videos. Let's do some investing videos. Let's do some things to help people get better with their money, some money management videos. And so if you look on my channel, I got all those because that's kind of what my target audience is. And at some point, when you start making videos, people say you got to identify your target audience. Well, when you start making videos, your target audience will become clearer and clearer. Who are you talking to? Who identifies with you? I'll tell you, who identifies with me on YouTube is not the 20-year-old millennial, typically. It's typically the person that's between 30 years old and 50 or 60 years old. That's the crowd that typically is drawn towards me because I'm not a flashy person. I'm not going to show you all my money. I'm not going to show you cars. I'm not going to show you fancy clothes. I'm going to show you just a regular person that wants to help other people get better with their money. Grown folks get better with their money, right? And so that's who I sort of attract, right? So let's go back to the chat. That was the third. And if you add up the 60K, you add up the 14K, 14.4, you add up the 24K, you come up with $98,000 a year. That's the 3 side hustles that help me make $98,000 a year on the side. Let's see. Somebody said had no clue. I'm actually ambidextrous. Fun fact about me, I can do pretty much everything with both hands. I can write with both hands. I can eat with both hands. I'm a switch hitter on the baseball field. I can do pretty much everything with 2 different hands, believe it or not. Literally almost. Now, naturally, I eat with my left. Naturally, I write with my left. But I can write with my right. I can eat with my right. I can do pretty much everything on both sides of my body, which is really strange, but that's a weird fact about me. Probably more information than you want to know. Somebody said, yes, if you click on it, go to the description box here in YouTube. There's join this channel. If you join the channel at the advanced level, it costs you what, 24, 25 bucks to have a 20-minute conversation, 15, 20-minute, turns into 30 minutes sometime conversation with me on a monthly basis. You can go to my schedule, go to smartmoneybro.com, click on schedule. Yeah, you can jump on the schedule for a 30-minute call. My personal financial mentoring coaching is not I don't want to charge you $1,000 and $2,000 and $3,000. I don't want to do that. Some people do. I get it. Some people have these weekend seminars that cost you $5,000. That's not me. I'm gonna stay in my lane on this. I'm gonna continue to now. I may do a workshop on real estate at some point, may charge a small fee to get into the workshop. That's something I'm thinking about doing because I don't do real estate very much on this channel. But at the same time, I still want to help people with it. And I don't want to charge people an arm and a leg to get into it. Right. If I'm helping you with money, I don't need you to spend a whole ton of money with me helping you with money. Right. That's just the conviction in my heart, what I decided to do. Now, if somebody wants to charge you $2,500 for coaching for an hour-long session, God bless them. That's on them. I don't want to do it. I want to keep my rates for helping people. And you may say to yourself, man, you're thinking small. Maybe, because my goal in terms of helping people with their personal finances, this YouTube channel, is not to become a multi-million. I don't need to make $10 million a year helping people. I don't mind doing it, and I'm not mad at people that do it, right? But it's just not my style. Let's see why. Okay, why you got to do fear like that? Punch fear in the face. Yeah, you got to punch fear in the face because you won't do anything if you don't punch fear in the face, right? Let's see, what's your average view count monthly? My average view count monthly is somewhere between 300,000 to about 600,000, somewhere in that range on a monthly basis. 300,000 to about 600. I've had some over 1 million months, right? And I've had some months around 300,000 nowadays, but it hovers in the 300 to 600,000 range. Let's see here. Yeah, grandchild watches these children videos, and some of them may have 5 million views. The other thing about YouTube is, depending on what you're talking about in your YouTube video or what's happening in the YouTube video, they pay different amounts. So when you talk about money and side hustles, that tends to pay more than if you're playing music or you have a music channel. So it just depends. Different genres pay a different amount, right? Same thing. It was the same thing on Amazon when I sold on Amazon. Same thing when I sold on eBay. Different things you sell are classified different. And part of that with YouTube is because different ads run through your YouTube. Okay, so the ads that run through a gamer's YouTube channel is going to be different than the ads they run through my money channel, personal finance channel. So the personal finance people that put the ads, companies that put the ads in personal finance videos, they're going to pay more than the ones that put the ads on children's channels, right? Because children's channels, they're the people watching, or the people doing gaming or children's channel, they're not going to spend as much money. So you get different amounts of money depending on what your genre you're talking about on YouTube is. Say, I've been in property management for over 20 years. Sunset on the Ocean. We got a property manager in here working for others. Now I'm working on getting my own multifamily property. Congratulations to you, Sunset on the Ocean. If you've been in property management, been a PM for that many years, you ought to be an excellent landlord, property owner. Right. So congratulations to you. If you have any questions, feel free to come here or drop it in the comment, or you can reach out to me personally, email me, and I'll be more than happy to answer a question. No charge. Question: do you like rent to own houses? There's a guy on YouTube doing it. The rent is high because part of the rent goes to buying the house. There's nothing wrong with that. If the deal is structured appropriately, there's nothing wrong with that at all, Zach. Let's see. Am I invested in the S&P 500? Absolutely. After I finish No Spend Month Challenge this May, I'm signing up for a one-on-one coaching about my YouTube. Jody, I'm more than happy to help you out. I'm going to give you some things to think about in that one-on-one session that you may not have thought about. All right. Because YouTube is difficult. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I don't have a team around me. Granted, I do have somebody that helps me sometimes with editing videos, but they only do the extra. I still edit every single video that you see on YouTube. I edit them, and then I send it to my other editor to do the top it off with some nice, pretty stuff on there. Good transitions, good B-roll, etc. Now, I can do that, but that takes a lot of time for me, and I don't have that time. So I do farm that out a little bit every now and then. And then also I farm out thumbnails sometimes, right? So those are really the only two things. Everything you see from me on YouTube is me. I write all the scripts, film all the videos, etc. So it's very, very time consuming, right? It's not easy. You got to be dedicated. Somebody said, when you help other people, your blessing will come. At least that's what I believe. I believe the same thing, Sons on the Ocean. So whether it's rental properties, I look at my rental properties as helping families that need a good place to stay with a good, solid landlord or property manager who's going to be there, who's going to help, who's going to do what they can to make sure. But it's also business too, right? I'm running a business as well. So, things have to be paid on time, etc. So I run that like a business. I don't run it just like a guy who has a couple of properties that he doesn't care about. All right. So if I get a call at noon that says, hey, something's going wrong, I'm on it. I'm on it because I know the value of not only finding good tenants, but keeping good tenants. Right. So I'm all against, I got a video on here about how to spot a bad landlord. I should have linked that video, how to spot a bad landlord. Well, I go into these thick signs that you need to be looking at as a person that's looking to rent. See, people that look to rent always see themselves as being like, I'm right here, but I got to go find somebody that'll rent to me. I tell you, as a renter, switch that up. Be the renter that interviews the landlords. See? That's about when you get to a level as a person where you got all your ducks in a row and you're organized, you don't have to just take whatever they give you. You can be the person that's proactive. I want you to be the type of tenant that goes and interviews landlords to see if they're worthy of your money every single month. Whole different way of looking at it, right? So I look at every single one of these 3 profitable side hustles that make me $98,000 per year. I look at every single one as a way to help others. Right? So whether it's rental houses, whether it's doing one-on-one personal financial mentoring or coaching, or it's this YouTube channel, it's my way of giving back to other people and helping other people so that I'm just not taking and extracting from the society that I live in, but I'm giving and giving. And the more I give, the more I get. I think everybody's cup can run over, right? Very important way of looking at things. Bass Shaker TV from Auburn, Alabama. Good to have you here. Happy that you're here, Mia or Maya. Let's see here. Questions. Any questions for me? Put a Q. Let me answer a question about any of these profitable side hustles. They all have fairly low overhead. When you're talking about the one-on-one financial mentoring and coaching, the overhead for that is my Teachable platform that hosts my my landing page, right? That's pretty much the overhead. Excuse me, very low overhead, right? When you're talking about my rental properties, I have a little cash to the side in case I need them to repair them. But you're talking about repairs and maintenance. One of the things I do for rental properties is typically I try to be a little bit proactive when it comes to repairs and maintenance, right? So that way we can avoid some of the big, large problems that could set in, right? Like water or something. Hey, people don't understand how damaging water is to a home. My goodness, water is crazy. So, I tell my tenants, if you see one little leak, you got to let me know immediately, because one little leak under a sink can turn into a $5,000 job. But all it took was a $20 part, and you could have prevented it. So water's a huge one. I talk about that quite a bit. So then the third one, the overhead for YouTube. Now, YouTube has a little bit more overhead because there's some subscriptions, right? I mean, there's things like StreamYard, which I'm streaming right here. StreamYard, very, very easy. I think I have a link. I don't think I have a link, but StreamYard is very good too. It's one of the affiliates, right? I'm an affiliate person for the things that I believe in. So I always talk about, you hear me talk about Mint Mobile as a partner on some of the videos I do, because I use Mint Mobile. Teachable. I'm an affiliate for Teachable because I use and have used Teachable for the last 4 years, 3, 4, 5 years. And I'm an affiliate for them. I like their platform. Very easy to use. I'm an affiliate for StreamYard. I'm an affiliate for some things. I do get a little extra side hustle money in terms of affiliates, right? That's another video, but because I don't get a whole lot of money, but I get some because I don't push them too much. I just talk about them here and there. But these are the platforms that I use, and it costs money And it comes from that YouTube money, right? When you got to pay for these subscriptions, right? I'm building an email list over on convertkit.com. That's a subscription. My calendar that you see, my schedule in the description box, that's Calendly. That's a subscription, right? All these are subscriptions, all of them. So there's some overhead involved with YouTube. And I didn't, now listen, the first couple of years I was on YouTube, I didn't subscribe to a whole lot of stuff. I just put up the videos. I took probably 200 of the videos with my cell phone. I didn't even buy a nice camera until I was about 2.5 years, a little over 2.5 years into YouTube. And that's the camera you see me on right now. Sony ZV-1 is the camera. Shure mic, SMB, I forgot the title of it, but these are things that cost when you have a YouTube channel that's growing and you want to grow. There's going to be some overhead with YouTube. Somebody said, what about REITs? REITs are cool. Nothing wrong with REITs. I don't own REITs, but there's nothing wrong with REITs, right? Real estate investment trust. Don't forget about hurricane insurance. How do you personally prevent burnout with having your full-time job? John, great question. Great question, John. You know what? Let me highlight that question. How do you personally prevent burnout with having, because I do have a full-time job, by the way, guys. Multiple side hustles and family. Do I still do voiceovers? Is that part of your Smart Money Bureau LLC? How do I personally prevent burnout? Man, I have some strict rules for myself, meaning put the screen down, done with the screen, go do something else. Go get some sunlight, go walk outside. Every single day I walk. I spend time walking in nature if I can. If not in nature, around the track at the gym. I do a lot of working out when you guys don't see me. I also do a lot of preparing good, solid meals. I'm like a health fanatic. I'm not a fanatic when it comes to health, but I'm really into it. Okay. So I spend time doing those things. Going to grandkids, games, right? So that's some of the I try to make sure that I spend some time away from the screen to prevent some burnout. Do some other things. Spend some time doing other stuff, right? But it is very busy. I spend a lot of time on these side hustles and so forth. And it says, do I still? Yes, I still do voiceovers, but I don't make enough money at it because I don't spend enough time on it, and that's why I didn't add it to this particular video. But yes, I do some side hustles here or some voiceovers here and there, right? So I I still do voiceovers. I still have an agent where I go out and I get voice work, and I also have some on-camera work that I do for an agent. I have an actual agent, believe it or not. I didn't want to do the camera work, but she said, well, you got a great personality. Boom. We're missing a lot of middle-aged men that, and so forth. So I said, okay, I'll do. So I've done a few commercials and things like that. Right. But I don't make enough money on that or spend enough time on that to consider it a side hustle that goes in the big pot. Right. So good question about the voiceovers. Yes. Still do a little bit of that here and there as well. Do that for my church as well. And yes, those things, some of them are a part of the Smart Money Bureau LLC. Absolutely. They fall under the heading of Smart Money Bureau LLC. Great question, John. I appreciate that. Edwin, how is Mint Mobile? I like Mint Mobile. Right? I like Mint Mobile. Solid. Everything's online. There's no stores, right? Let's see. Question. How often do you inspect your rental properties? Man, that's a good question. How often do you inspect a rental property? There's a guy on YouTube likes to inspect every month. I don't know how he gets tenants to agree to that. I don't do my rental properties every month. Not at all. I have something written into my leases that gives me the right to do an inspection within 24 hours. But I will always give a tenant a 24 to 48 hour heads up before I inspect a property. But there's other ways to inspect a property. and you don't have to necessarily call it an inspection, right? You can drive by a property, take a look at the outside of the property. That's an informal inspection, right? If I see an issue outside of a property, grass too high, stuff all over the place, car parked in the yard, then I'm going to reach out to the property owner, and then I may exercise my right based on what's in my lease to go into the property. Another thing I've done over the years is I will write into the lease that I'm going to clean the property twice a year. I am going to pay for a cleaning of the property twice a year. I write it into the lease. Let me get that one off there. I'm sorry. Kept it on there too long. I write into the lease that I'm going to clean a property twice a year. Guess what that does for me? It lets me into the property to inspect it twice a year. It also lets me make sure the property is kept up twice a year. It also shows the tenant that I'm really, really serious about taking care of my property. So you better watch out if you put a hole in the wall. I'm going to charge you a couple of $100, $300, $400, $500 for that. It sets a tone when you put it in the lease that I am going to pay. Listen, here's why. What does it cost me as a landlord to clean a property for a tenant? $300? Okay, let's call it $400 for a deep cleaning. That's $800 a year. Do you know that $800 a year cleaning the property, inspecting the property, can save you as a landlord $20,000 having to clean up for somebody who jacked something up? So I would rather pay pennies today than have to pay tens of thousands of dollars tomorrow. If I'm a landlord and I don't have $800 a year, I'm doing something wrong as a landlord. I shouldn't be a landlord if I don't have $800 a year. That's just a little tip that I do every now and then. So to answer the question, right? So again, I have a ton of this information sitting on YouTube, free game on how to be an excellent landlord, not a slumlord, right? Check out. I got a link to that in the description box below. Peep these questions will be answered there for sure. Absolutely. That's a great question though. Let's see here. Let's see. Be profitable. Thank you for your responses. You got it, John. No, I appreciate you, John. Thank you for being a valuable piece of this community. Absolutely. Goal setting. Yes, on goal setting. Pennies today. Yeah. Some people, what's the saying? Some people step over pennies to get dollars. I'm not sure what the saying is, but yeah, don't do that. Right. So this is the deal. 3 profitable side hustles that make me $98,000 a year. You can do any one of these 3, guys. I'm not special. I'm not anything more different than you guys. If you have a one-on-one conversation with me, I'm going to be the exact same person you see talking to you on this video, right? I'm just somebody that understood how to parlay some of these skills into monetization. It took a while. It took a long while, right? But number 1 that I talked about was one-on-one personal financial mentoring and coaching, and anybody can do it in any genre, any skill. I don't care what the skill is. The second one I talked about, and that one gave me about $14K a year. The second one was real estate, rental properties. I only have 2 today still. Gets me about $24,000 a year. Gross profit. I'm sorry, gross profit. Gross. The third profitable side hustle that make me $98K per year is this YouTube channel, which right now we're averaging about $5,000 a month. About. Some months more, some months less. It's possible. It's doable. If you've ever been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, It's possible. It's doable. But there's some intangibles you got to have with a YouTube channel. There's some real strong intangibles. You have to be persistent. You have to be consistent. And let me say this about all three of these things. Okay, guys, this is very important. And I really want to hit on this. And like I said, I don't have anything written down, so these things are coming to my mind. Any side hustle you do, I'm going to help you guys with this piece of game because I think this is really, really important. If you don't catch anything else that I said on this entire video, this is really, really important. When you do a side hustle, don't just do the side hustle just for money. Because when you do something just for money, you're not going to do it very long because the money may not be there. For example, if you say to yourself, you know what, I want to do a YouTube channel and I want to make some money on it. If money is I don't know what that saying is, but money is a poor thing to chase after. Because what happens is when the money's not there, you quit. When the money's not there, you're done. You give up. When the money's not there, you're not there. And so when you do things just for money, side hustles just for money, then what happens is you end up not being consistent, not being persistent, not sticking with it, not staying in there, not hanging in there in the hard times, not working through issues, not having the patience to continue, not having the will to keep going. So you need to find another motivation besides money on any side hustle you do. Don't chase money. And I know this is hard for a lot of people to swallow because most people are chasing money. They only want the side hustle for the side income. But I'm telling you to find another piece of motivation other than money. Because as soon as the money's not there, you're gone. And most people quit their side hustle before the money starts rolling in. And if you had just stayed with it another 3 weeks, another 2 months, another 6 months, another 9 months, another year, the money would have started rolling in. But you quit because the money wasn't there because you're just doing stuff for money. You have to find another piece of motivation. And that's why every single one of these three profitable side hustles that make me this money, all three of them, the mission is not money. The mission is something bigger and more important than just the money. The mission, it may be the mission for one-on-one personal financial mentoring and coaching. The mission is to help people get to another level with their personal finances. The mission with the real estate is not to make a whole bunch of money. The mission is to help put families into a good, solid, affordable property that is managed well and taken good care of so they can feel safe, they can feel secure, they can feel. The mission for this YouTube channel is not to make a bunch of money, because if that was the case, I would have quit the first 2 years. I didn't make anything. The mission is to get it out to more and more people, to help more and more people understand, learn, get what they need to get for free on the YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. You're not paying anything to watch this. It's free. And I don't mind giving away free information. The goal has to be, the mission has to be bigger than money. Money is important, but money is not the most important thing. Now, if you can hone in on your business, whatever side hustle you decide to do, and you can have a mission other than money, and it's something you really enjoy doing, and you have a talent, gift, or skill for, guess what? You're going to be there and do it whether the money is there or not. And I guarantee you, when you first start, for the first month, 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years, there will be no money. Will you keep going? That's the question. Somebody said, that's Jared. How did you get into voiceovers? I started at my church first for free for 10 years. I would do voices, the voice of God. I would do, you name the voices, commercial. Hey, welcome to whatever it could be, right? Come on back for the marriage ministry, whatever it could be. And then I said in 2017, 18, 19, I said, I can do this on my own. I like this. This is fun. I enjoy this. How can I make some money doing voices? Got some coaching, did some research, joined some communities, started to get some work, right? That's how I got into it. Please, guys, yes, Sunset on the Ocean said it. Please hit the like button for me. I don't say it enough, right? I should say that more, right? Maybe I do say it enough, and I just don't think I say it enough because I'm not listening to myself. Hit the like button for me. This is information that I want as many people as possible to get, right? So you got to hit the like button. You got to share the link to the video. And also, if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. And you got to do this also. Turn on your notifications if you're subscribed. That way you're notified when I go live, right? Which is usually either Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon or evening, Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. or 5 p.m. Central Time, and Saturday mornings, and sometimes Sundays as well, right? So please smash the like button. Thanks so much, Sunset on the Ocean. Somebody said put in 10K hours before you decide to quit, or at least. Yeah, put in the time. Appreciate it. And this is real life. Thanks for saying that, Art of War. It's real life information because I'm just a real life guy. I'm not anything fancy. I didn't do anything special. I'm not anything special, guys. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I'm not sitting on a pedestal, right? I'm not sitting on a pedestal as anybody that you can talk to me and I'll talk back. That's why I respond to comments. Some comments in the chat. If you have a question and you put it in the chat and you watch this later in the chat, or not the chat, in the comment section, I try to answer it. Right? I try to answer it. So I appreciate you guys being here more than you know. I just wanted to give you these 3 profitable side hustles that make me $98,000 a year. But guess what? You can do any one of these. And I can help you and teach you and coach you and help you through getting through the thought process to get to the point where you can do any one of these. I guarantee you. Hey, listen, I appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for spending this time with me, guys. Do yourself a favor today. Well, let me ask you a question real quick before I leave. I do a lot of stuff, guys. And one of the things I haven't done on YouTube is really opened up my outside life, right? In other words, I do things like I do a lot of different things. You guys let me know in the chat section right here, right now. Would you be interested in seeing more of what I do in terms of these side hustles, in terms of hobbies and things that I do, workout information? I prepare a lot of food, really healthy foods and things like that. You guys let me know in the chat. Somebody said, hey, man, you need to be a little more transparent. I got this comment. And when you get comments on YouTube, sometimes you think about them, and it's okay to think about them, right? And somebody said, hey, we don't really know anything about you. So let me know, guys, if that's something you want me to kind of a little more transparency. I try to be transparent when it comes to the money, but let me know in the chat section if you'd enjoy seeing a little more about what I do in terms of the background of a life. You guys let me know and I can help you out, and I can maybe do that more often because I don't do it a lot. I'm pretty focused person. And so sometimes I get so focused that I don't understand there's more to me than just the money, right? Than just teaching people and helping people with their money. There's a whole lot more. So somebody said voiceovers. Yes. Somebody said absolutely appreciate. Okay. Side hustles, wellness. Absolutely. So I do all that, right? Now I'm not perfect, right? I'm about 205, 203 right now in terms of my weight. I'm trying to get down to about 195, 190. I'd love to be 180, but I don't know. That's in the cards for me. But I was at 195, then I got to 205. Now I'm hitting it. So I stay in pretty good shape. My bad area is sleep, though. I got to get better at sleep. So somebody says, Jody says, I'm also in the fitness and wellness, so I like collecting different recipes. Yeah, I do. You know, I make a sea moss. I make other concoctions and things like that that are healthy and so forth. So I'm big into health. So Art of War said rental information will be great. Broke down how to handle how to handle what was that? How to handle rental property finances. Yeah, that would be cool. Okay, great. Thanks, Art of War. Thanks, Jody. Ryan said some food stuff, some family. Burning to share from my personal experience, John. Family, you know, that's fine too. Truck driver, absolutely fantastic. Great with a thumbs up, said Rhonda. You are one of us. Yeah, I am Nigel. I'm one of you. I think Nigel's from Nigel, you in Canada, I think you said you were. Want to buy a family property. Listen, all that's great. We can explore more of that. More of that? Absolutely. So I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for that feedback, guys. Listen, I'm going to let you enjoy your afternoon. I appreciate you being here. I hope this was able to help somebody. If it helped you at all, guys, feel free to share the information with somebody else. When you get good information on YouTube, don't hold it to yourself. Pass it off to other people. Check out the stuff I have in the description box below. I got some good stuff, some free stuff. I have a few links. Full disclosure, I mentioned earlier, I'm an affiliate for some of these things because, and I do get a small percentage if you click on the link in the description box. But otherwise, I tell you about them because I use them, right? And that's the most important thing. I appreciate you guys more than you know, and thank you so much. And if you have a further question, drop it in the comments section. And don't forget to smash the like button for me. Hey, the best person who's going to take care of the old you is the young you. I'm going to be on here tomorrow. Come back tomorrow and check me out. Probably 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I got something else I want to share with you. Take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.